Open up that gate or I'll have you arrested. The words burst forth from Cynthia Reynolds, the president of Silver Oak Estates HOA. She stood before the padlocked entrance to my ranch, her face red with fury, shaking like a volcano set to erupt. Two board members trailed behind her, cradling clipboards and iced lattes in awkward arms, looking decidedly uneasy. I stood unflappable behind my metal gate, arms folded. "No, ma'am," I replied calmly. "This is private property. You're not invited here." That's when Cynthia lost it. Gravel scraped under the soles of her shoes as she pulled out her phone like a club. "That's it. I'm calling the cops. You'll be dragged off in handcuffs, you lawless drifter." Drifter? I nearly laughed. I've owned this 20-acre ranch in northern Arizona for 7 years. The deed, tax records, and photos of me building the barn with my own hands prove it. But to Cynthia, anything near the HOA was under her rule. Even land legally outside her jurisdiction. She shouted into her phone, reporting a hostile squatter and demanding immediate police action. Her minions backed away, clearly embarrassed. Then there were flashing lights on the hill. I stood stock still. She was really having me arrested on my own land? My name is Ethan Caldwell, 42, a retired firefighter living a peaceful life on my humble spread with horses, chickens, and big sky. That tranquility was disrupted when Cynthia, a pompous HOA president in her late 50s, with a shiny white SUV and oversized shades, declared war. 3 months prior to that, a builder had graded a road at the back of my ranch, connecting Silver Oak to the highway. That's when problems started. Joggers wandered across my fence line, dog walkers made a mess, and a youngster destroyed my garden on a dirt bike. I put up "no trespassing" signs, mounted cameras, and constructed a steel security gate. But Cynthia wasn't discouraged. She left a note in my mailbox blaming my ranch for breaking community beautification codes. Beautification? This was a working ranch, not a golf course. I wrote back to her nicely with a copy of my deed, clearly indicating I was beyond the HOA. Her reply, "Your map is outdated. Be ready for an inspection." That inspection was the prank she pulled that morning. As I was feeding the goats, Cynthia and two of her board members trooped up my driveway unannounced. "Good morning, Mr. Caldwell," she said with a toxic smile. "By HOA Rule 14B, we're here to inspect." "I'm not in your HOA," I said, holding up my deed. Her face contorted. "The road widening brings your property under our jurisdiction." "You're mistaken." "Open the gate, Ethan." "No, ma'am." That's when she threatened to call the police, and on cue, the sirens drew near. A police SUV arrived. Officer Martinez, a guy I'd sold eggs to, got out, followed by Sergeant Harper, a stern woman with her hand resting on the butt of her gun. "This man is trespassing and refusing inspection," Cynthia said. "I'm the HOA president. I have authority." Harper looked at me. "Your name?" "Ethan Caldwell. I own this land." I presented my ID and deed. Harper moved back to examine it. Cynthia attempted to push through the gate. "I'll press charges if you cross over," I cautioned. At that moment, one of her board members panicked and backed into my mailbox. "Everyone stop," Martinez commanded. Harper returned my documents. "Mr. Caldwell, you're obviously beyond the HOA boundary. No road expansions have been approved." She confronted Cynthia. "You made a false report and tried to trespass. You're fortunate he's not charging you." Cynthia made threats of lawsuits and censure. Harper cut her off and told them to leave the property. That evening, I caught a glimpse of shadow near my fence. Heart racing, I pointed my flashlight. "Get out, or I call the police." A man ran, leaping the fence. My cameras recorded him running away from Silver Oak, holding a folder marked "Zoning Request." The following morning, I watched the tape. It appeared to be Carl Dempsey, HOA secretary at Silver Oak. I printed the photos and drove directly to Sheriff Logan. He vowed to investigate. 3 days later, Cynthia was back, accompanied this time by an attorney, Victor Lang, and 2 assistants. Lang gave me a cease and desist notice, stating I was interfering with a community right-of-way. There's no easement here, I informed them. Lang cautioned that I had 7 days to take down the gate or face an injunction. I sent the notice along to Sheriff Logan. His response: "Don't touch that gate. They've got nothing." The following morning, there was a county surveyor at my gate. "Your gate's legal," he assured me. "No right-of-way exists." But it didn't stop there. At 11 p.m., a knock awakened me. Cynthia stood shaking, all smugness forgotten. "The HOA clubhouse burned," she said. "Someone spray-painted, 'Stay off his land.'" At the scene, Sergeant Harper confirmed arson. Gasoline had been used. Cynthia was shaken. "I thought this was just a dispute." I didn't answer. I couldn't determine whether this was a setup or if someone else was sending a message. The press caught wind of it. Some labeled me a hero, some a menace. I simply sought peace. Sheriff Logan obtained a restraining order against the HOA board. I added more cameras, motion lights, and signs. Days after, while taking my German Shepherd Titan for a walk, he snarled and ran to a buried duffel bag. Contents: a crowbar, lockpicks, surveillance images, maps, and a folder with the name Ethan Caldwell. A typed message said, "This land isn't yours forever. We'll get it." I phoned Logan. He swept the forest and granted me emergency access to dispatch. I next employed Jake Monroe, a private investigator I had worked with back when I was a firefighter. "Dig deep," I instructed him. 2 days later, Lang came back again, this time with a camera crew. "We're paying double market value for your land," he said. "You attempted to burn me out," I snapped. Lang did not flinch. "You're a problem. This is a peaceful resolution." I picked up my hose and sprayed the camera. "Get off my property." Jake called later that evening. Silver Oak was concealing a development agreement beneath a shell corporation. Their aim? Annex my property utilizing emergency zoning, unless I got out of here. The fires, threats, and monitoring were intended to evict me. I sued Silver Oak for harassment, trespassing, defamation, and attempted seizure. At the following HOA meeting, Cynthia allegedly went white when she was served. Jake dropped another bomb. Victor Lang had been disbarred in Nevada due to zoning fraud. The HOA's documents, inspections, and threats of lawsuits? All a farce. Then my barn caught fire. Titan and I narrowly escaped. A voicemail followed. "Sell, or your house is next." I instructed Jake to dig into the board's finances. He uncovered everything: fraud, embezzlement, bribed surveyors, and forged maps. We leaked the proof to the media. HOA Land Grab Exposed was broadcast nationwide, featuring arrests, documents, and my burned barn. Silver Oak dissolved. Cynthia vanished. Months went by, and she appeared on my doorstep. "I lost everything," she whispered. "I'm sorry. I did not forgive her." "Then accept your punishment," I told her. She walked away. Now, my new barn is fire-resistant, rebuilt with the assistance of neighbors. My gate sports a new sign: Caldwell Ranch, established 1964, protected by law and legacy. You see, a 1964 deed, tucked away in my safe, protected my mineral rights, copper deposits beneath the East Acre. In a press conference, I laid it out. They didn't just attempt to steal my land, they attempted to destroy history. I never sold. I held firm, because sometimes niceness isn't sufficient. Only courage draws the line. Did you fight an overreaching HOA? Tell your tale in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe.